So let's wait for it to load. And I'll transform my data. So tonight class, we are going to be talking about pivoting and unpivoting. We are going to be talking about pivoting and unpivoting. So what is pivoting? What is unpivoting? Pivoting data in Power Query means transforming rows of data into columns. Based, what's this? Who's joining my screen? Engineer Kazim. Why? This is common. This is a common operation in data cleaning and transformation when you want to restructure your data set for easier analysis or visualization. Now, pivoting data means transforming rows of data into columns. Okay, have you all done pivoting and unpivoting before we? Emeka is saying you all have done pivoting and unpivoting. Is Emeka correct? Before we move on to, I just need to be sure. Emeka is saying you've done pivoting and unpivoting. So which class did they make? Okay, 2 people is saying no, 3 people is saying yes. Oh, theory, yes. Practical, no, if I'm correct. If you've done the theory, just say theory. If you haven't done the practical, say practical. Just like the way Catherine did. If it was a theory, you retouched it, but not full. Okay. All right. It's not a bad thing if you actually go through it again. It is not a bad thing if we go through it again. It is not a bad thing. So what I will do is I will brush us up on pivoting and unpivoting. Right. So pivoting means transforming rows of data into column, while unpivoting means transforming columns into rows. Right. When you pivot, you are transforming rows of data into column. And when you unpivot, you are turning columns into what? Rows. Now, let me explain what it means. Now, look at this data set we are having. Right. Let me use this one now. Look at this data set we are having. Now, when you transform rows into column, now look at the product column, look at the product ID column, the selling price and the cost price, right? Before you pivot, you must always have a value column. Or should I say pivoting will always request for a value column. Did you all get that? Did you all get that? Pivoting will always request for what? Pivoting will always request for what? A value column. Now, when I pivot, okay, now before I pivot, what information are in a row? What informations are in the row? The product ID, the selling price, and the cost price. What are the information inside the product ID row? What are the information inside of the product ID row? Let's start from there. What are the information inside of the product ID row? Okay, let me just take it myself. That's product 1, product 2, product 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 10. Right? These are the products we are having. All right. So now, if I click on what on pivots, now before you have access to pivots, you always come to a transform, right? From there, you will see what pivot column. If I click on pivot column, right now you can see it now. It is requesting for a value column. Now it is trying to say what? When I transform this product one into a column, what information will be inside of what? Product one. What information will be inside of product one when I transform it to a what? To a column. Now I am trying to say what? The information of selling price should correspond to each and every single row under the product ID when I transform it to a column. So now if I click on pivot column, right, and I click on the selling price, now what I'm trying to say is where I am having 35, meaning product one that is on 35, 35 will be inside the column of product one. 45 will be inside the column of where? Product two. 25 will be inside the column of product three. 89 will be inside the column of product four. That's how it's going to be. So then the next thing is I'll click on what? Advanced options. I'll click on what? Advanced options. Then the next thing is what? I'll click on what? Aggregate value function. Aggregate value function. So now the one we use is what? The one we're going to be using for tonight's class will be what? Don't aggregate. Because I don't want you to aggregate the values for me. Right? I don't want you to sum, I don't want you to count, I don't want you to give me the maximum or the minimum. Right? I don't want you to, I just want you to give me the exact value. So now if I click on don't aggregate and I click on what? Okay. Right now, automatically, you can now see now the product ID and the product ID and the selling price are now inside a single column. Now look at the product one column. Look at the value inside of product one, 35. The value inside of product two, 45. So now if I come here now, if I click on product one and I click and I sort it, if I click on product one column and I sort it now, right? If I sort it, now you can see it now. 35 is now the very first one on the row, which is on when it was on a product, when it was in a product ID column, right? Product one was the first in the row. Same thing as product two. If I sort it, it's going to go to the second row. Same thing to product three, going to the third row. Same thing to product four, to the fourth row. Product five also, we go to the what? To the sixth, to the fifth row. Product six, we go to the sixth row. Are we all getting it? Are we all getting it? Are we all getting that now? Is anyone get is all right? So now that is how pivoting works, right? That is how pivoting works. So now after tonight's class, you'll be getting a class an assignment, right? You'll be getting an assignment on pivoting and on pivoting, right? You before I move on, have you all done splitting data? Have you all done splitting data? Splitting by delimiter, by position, by numbers of character. Have we all done splitting by delimiter? Okay, good. So since you've all done splitting by delimiter, there will be an assignment for everyone tonight, right? There will be an assignment for everyone tonight. So now, if I click on this product now and I select all the old product down to product 10, right? And I click on what? Transform. And under transform, I click on what? On pivot columns. Now, what is on pivot column? I won't go to the PowerPoint slide. Let me see if we are following. What is on pivot column? When you're on pivot column, what does it mean? When you're on pivot column, what does it mean? Reverse. Okay. So Mimika said reverse. Yeah, it is reverse. Yeah, it is reverse. But I don't want the name. I don't want column to row. Meaning you are transforming them from a column back to a what? Row. So now if I come here now and I click on pivot column, now you can see it now, it has been transformed from a column Y to a row. You can also see it now. Let me take it back. Right, I'll select audio column. Right, if I click on pivot now, then it has transformed from where a column back to a what? To a row. Now, when I pivoted the column, when I pivoted the product ID column, which column did I use as my value column? Which column did I use as my value column? When I pivoted the product ID column, which column did I use as my value column? Which column did I use as my value column? Which column did I use as my value column? No, I did not use my product ID. My selling price, Samad, thank you very much. My selling price column was the column I used for my what? Value column. Now you can all see it when I unpivot columns now. You can see I have my attributes column and I have my value column. You can see it now. You can now see that it is returning a value column. When you unpivot, it's going to request for a value column. When you pivot, it's going to request for a value column. When you unpivot, it's going to give you back that your value column. Can you all see it now? Can you all see? It's just like I'm returning it back to its normal place, right? You know, you're using something for a value column. Then when you on pivots, that value column that you used is what is going to return back to you as your same value column when you're on pivots. Are we all following? Are we all following? Is it possible? No, you can only use just one value column. You can only use just one value column. You can only use just one value column. So let me delete everything. So now let me start all over. Let me retake it again. For those that did not understand, let me retake it again. I have my product ID column and I have my selling price column. Or better still, let me use this information here. I'll just delete out I'll delete all these. I don't need them. Now, okay, let me use this one now. Let me use this one so you all see it properly. Now, you can see this column now. Look at this product ID column. The information here, are they in duplicate or not? Are they duplicated or not? The information here, are they duplicated or not? All right. So now, if I come in now and I pivot column, right, and I use my quantity as my value column, right? I use my quantity as my value column, right? Now, so what it's going to do for me? And my advanced option, I put it on what? Don't aggregate. I put it on don't aggregate. If I click on what? Okay. Now you can all see it now. Can you all see it? Meaning all the one that anyone that belongs to product 8 will now be inside the column of product 8. Anyone that belongs to product 1 will be inside the column of product 1. Anyone that belongs to product 10 will be inside the column of product 10. Can you all see it now? If I come here now and I sort like this, you can all see it now for product 1. These are all the values inside of product 1. These are all the value inside of where product 1. Can you all see it now? If I scroll down and I look at product 2, okay, product 2. Now, all the value inside of product 2, see them. These are all the old value inside of product 2. That is what pivoting does. So now let me now on pivots, right? Let me what? On pivot, I want to what? Transform columns into what? Rows. Did you all get that? Since it is returning not value, how and How are we going to use them? Right? So now it is returning not value just because of the information we are having, right? It is returning not value just because of the information we are having. But in cases like this, when it returns not value, what you just replace the null with is with zero if you are working with a number format. If you are what? Working with a number format. So now let me unpivot them now. What I'll now do is I'll click from product 8 down to the last one, right? And I'll go to transform and I'll just what click on what on pivot colon. Then it's all going to return back to its normal self. It's all return back to what? To the normal self. So now this is the product ID column and this is the what quantity column. Is there any question on pivoting and unpivoting? Is there any question on pivoting and unpivoting before we move on? Any question on pivoting and unpivoting before we move on? Any question on pivoting and unpivoting before we move on? All right. So now moving on, the next one we are going to be talking about is what? Merging and appending. The next one we are going to be talking about is what? Merging and appending. We are going to be talking about merging and what? Appending. Now, you might be asking, what is merging? What is appending? Right? Now, who's going to read for me? Who's going to read? Who's going to read for me? If you want to read,
Okay.
okay, Chike.
Okay. Merging queries is used to combine data from two or more tables horizontally based on a common column, a key, or relationship.
Okay.
Think of it like a joint operation in databases.
All right, hold on. Let me come in there. Does anyone have idea on SQL? Do anyone have idea on SQL? All right. So now, Steven, if you know, you can use merging on SQL. So now, instead of you using merging, what do we use? Instead of you using merging on SQL, what do you use? Instead of you using merging on SQL, you use join, right? Using the primary key and the foreign key. Yes or no? You use join using the primary key and the foreign key to join them together. Yes or no? Can you see it now? Think of it as what? Think of it like a what? Joint operation in databases. And now, when you talk about database, what SQL is what? SQL deals with what? SQL deals with what?
It deals with databases.
It's very simple. Can you see it now? You can now see how all of them are now coming together. All of them are what? Coming together, right? So now, when we talk about merge, it says here when to use merge. Now, when you have related data spread across multiple tables and you need to bring it together based on a shared key or what column, based on the what shared key or column, and that key is talking about what? Our primary key or our foreign key. Primary key or what? Foreign key. That is the way you use merge on Power Query. And that's the way you use join on SQL. Is there any question on the theoretical part of merging before we move to appending? Yeah, you've not done SQL. You haven't done SQL. I am just telling you have to have idea about it before you go into it. That's the reason I'm talking about it now. Right? You have to have idea about it. That's why I'm talking about it now. Right. So is there any question on the theoretical aspect of merging before we move to the theoretical aspect of appending? Yeah, we're going to do practice. Obviously, you do practice. Sure. You are going to do practice. You are going to do practice. Is there any question on merging, on the theoretical aspect of merging before we move to the theoretical aspect of appending? And after that, we go to the practical. After that, we go to the practical. Any question? Okay, I'll take that as a no. So now, when we now talk about appending, appending queries is used to combine data from two or more tables vertically, right? It is used to combine two or more tables vertically by stacking them on top of each other. By stacking them on top of each other. Are you all following? Is there any question? Any question? Okay. Is there any question? If there's question, kindly signify by raising up your hand, please. If there's any question. I'll take that as a no. I'll take that as a no. So now when to use append? When you have the same data, okay, when you have the same type of data spread across multiple tables, and you need to what? Consolidate it into one. Meaning you need to bring them together into one. When you are appending, you are stacking data on top of each other. Right? Are you all following? Are we all following before we move to the practical aspect of merging and appending? Are we all following? Okay, I said appending is used to stack data on top of each other, right? While merging is used to what? Bring in, right? Combine data horizontally. Appending, you are stacking them on top of each other. When you stack something on top of each other, that is horizontal, right? But when you use merge and you join them together, you are joining them horizontally. So now let's move to the practical aspect now of merging. So now look at this customer table. Look at the other table. Now, the other table is the facts table. That is my main table. That's the table we are using for our analysis for tonight class, right? Now, look at the other table. We have the order ID, the customer ID, order date, product ID, and what? Quantity. We have the order ID, customer ID, order date, product ID, and what? Quantity. And I need just 4 informations from the customer table, which are the what? Full name, gender, city, and country. I need the full name, the gender, the city, and the what? The country. Now, what do I do? Do we all understand what I just said? Or I should take it to the marketing aspect? Should I take it to the marketing aspect, or we all understand what I just said I need? Should I take it to the marketing aspect? If you want me to take it to the marketing aspect, say marketing. If you want me to move on, say move on. Let's go. Who is in the class? Let me know those are in the class. Just MN marketing, okay? All right. So now, I am sure most of you have used Jumia. I'm sure most of you have used Jumia, right? Okay, good. So now when you order something from Jumia, they give you this thing called your shipping ID. They give you this thing called your shipping ID or your tracking ID. Don't they? Nobody's saying anything. Have you all not used Jumia before? Has nobody used Jumia yet? So now, good. That shipping ID or that tracking ID there, okay. Okay, okay, all right. Now, that shipping ID and that tracking ID. Now, for instance, now, right, you need this customer, right? Let's take customer as our foreign country. Let's say China, right? Now, let's take order as our personal country. Let's say Nigeria, or okay, let's just say Nigeria, right? China, Nigeria. So now, as a marketer, our Igbo men and women, our container people. Now you need to buy some goods from China, which is the customer, right? And the goods you are buying from China is the full name, the gender, the city, and the country, right? So now you've purchased all this information, which is the full name, the gender, the city, and the country. And you need to ship them away from China and you need to import them into Nigeria. Are you all getting what I'm saying now? Are you all following? Right? So now, from this China, you are not given a shipping ID, right? Or a tracking ID. Now, what is the tracking ID? That tracking ID is one that is going to give you your specific goods that you order. Now, imagine you are getting a tracking ID of 10,056, right? Will you be getting the goods of 10,059? Will you be getting the goods of 10,059? Your shipping ID, the one they gave to you, is 10,056. Will you be getting the information of 10,059? Is it possible? Good. So now, what do we do? I'll come to home, right? Before you move on, when you want to order anything, you have to be in that specific country before you order. If you are ordering something to America, can you be in England and you order something to America when you know it's your personal thing? I need to use it. Is it possible? Is it possible? when ordering something, will it be possible for you to be in one country and you are ordering something to another country, whereas you are the one that need it? Okay, so now I'll click on order, which is Nigeria, right? And what I'll do is what? Merge queries. I'll click on what? Merge queries. So now I have clicked on the merge queries. Now it is telling me that, now you can see it now. The table I've selected now is what? Order stroke Nigeria, which is the present country where we are. Now, see the merge interface. What's it saying? Select a table and matching columns to create a merged table. Select a table and a matching column to create a what? Merged table. So now, we've selected a table, which is the order stroke Nigeria table. And where do we want to get our goods from, which is customer stroke China. Now, what is the matching column from Nigeria and China and from order and customer? What column is matching each other in the chat section? What column is matching each other? What column is matching each other in the chat section? What column is matching each other in the chat section? Customer ID. Good. So now, meaning I'll select the customer ID here and select the second customer ID. Now, you can see I have selected the two now, the customer ID, customer ID. Now, what's it saying? The selection matches 150 of 150 rows from the first table. Can you see now? Meaning the selection that I select, this one, and inside the order ID Nigeria, we are just having 150 rows, right? And inside the customer for China, it might be over 1,000. But due to the fact that the shipping ID inside the order stroke Nigeria, right, is corresponding to 150 of the customer, it's going to assign them to each order. Meaning the information of 1,027, 10,127, right? It's going to look for it from the China, it's going to look for it from China and locate 10,127 information and give it to order stroke Nigeria table. Do we all understand that? Do we all understand that before I move on? Okay, so now the next, now I'll just click on what is what? Okay. Now I have clicked on okay. Now what do I have? I have the table of China stroke customer stroke what? China. Customer stroke what? China. Now I have it inside of my Nigerian stroke order table. And I have it inside my Nigerian table. Now, my Igbo people, do I have any Igbo students? Is there any Igbo students? Any Igbo students? If you're from the Igbo tribe, anyone? Okay, I guess there is no Igbo. I don't think I have any Igbo students. Okay, let me just continue. Right, so now, like they say, there's a container in the pot, right? I have a container I want to go and clear. I have this, I want to go and do this. I have that, I want to go and do that. Right now, the China container has dropped. The what? China container has now dropped inside of Nigeria. So now, for you to have access to this customer, stroke China, you have to open that container. Yes or no? When you order a goods from China, let's say car or some other product, right? And they deliver to Nigeria. You have to open the container, yes or no? Even Jumia, you have to open the package to confirm that yes, that is what you order. Yes or no? So now, what do I do? How do I open it? I'll just click on this arrow. I'll click on this arrow, right? And I will select just my own product that I ordered. Remember, you've collected your product, right? You don't need your tracking number anymore, right? The tracking number is the customer ID. I don't need the customer ID. I only need the four products that I ordered, which is the full name, the gender, the city, and the country. These are just the four information I ordered. These are just the what four informations I ordered. So now I don't want to use the original name as column prefix. Now, what does it mean? If I use the original name as column prefix, what it's going to do for me now is it's going to be give me customer slash China dot full name, customer dot slash China dot gender. I don't want it to be like that. I just want to give me the full name, the gender, the city, and the country. So what do? Since I have unclicked this, I have unchecked this. I'll just click on what? Okay. And automatically I have my words, my full name, my gender, my city, and my country inside of my order table. I now have them inside of my order table. Any question on this before I move on? So now let me bring in the product information now. I need the selling price and the cost price also. I need what? The selling price and the cost price. So now, what I'll just do now is I need the selling price and the cost price. I need these two information from the product table into the order table. I need these two columns into the order table. Now, what do? I'll click on what? Merge queries. Then select that table where I am exporting from, which is my products, right? And I'll select the column, the matching columns, which is the product ID and the product ID. From there, I'll click on what? Okay. Automatically, I have my product table inside of my order table. The next thing is what? Click on this. I don't need the product ID. I just need the selling price and the cost price. And I'll click on what? Okay. And voila. I have my cost price, my selling price inside of the order table. Right? So now another thing I can now do is I can just click on the full name, select the gender, select the city and the country, and what? Drag it to my desired location. So I can just paste it here. So now automatically I have moved the full name, the gender, the city, and the country away, and I now have it at this location. And my selling price and my cost price remain at this present location. All right. So is there any question on merging? 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 So, show me where you got the command merge. All right, see the command here. Just sit up here. See this is the command, see it here, merge queries. Beneath it, you see append queries. Merge queries, append queries. That's where the information are. Merge queries and what? Append queries. Merge queries and append queries. All right. So everyone, please give me some minutes. Let me put on my generator. NEPA just took lights. So I don't want it to disturb the class. So let me just turn on the generator so we continue with the class. So the you can actually unmute yourself to to ask yourself question before I come back. So you can ask yourself question. The group is on mute. You can all ask yourself question before I'll be back.
Is Favor in this class? Teach us now. Start teaching us. Favor. And why is nobody's talking now? Are people in this class or have they slept? Martin, are you there? Favor, how about you? What is our people say? No one talk.
We are here, we are here, sir, we are here.
We are here. Oh, I'm here.
Make could I begin ask question now? How the house go there dollar as if say we know the class. The class now.
All right.
Okay, let me break this. Okay. Is it
Okay.
back?
No, I don't think Favor is in class today.
DMO. Oh, DMO, you're back. Okay, no wala.
Yeah,
Let's
I don't
turn us off now.
Favor is not in class today. She's not in class.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, is there any
Right.
question on merging before we move to appending?
Okay, let me say something.
All right.
Okay. The merging,
Okay.
I think we should consider they should have common data type. The data type should be common in the sense that you may forget or you may not remember that it should be on test. When this one, the one that you're merging with is on test, the one that the foreign and the key, the primary key should be on the same data type. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
If you check, they are on test, and that's why it's working. That's
okay.
why it's working. If you make a mistake, I change it to instead of test. You put another one and try to
I'm
make them.
trying something now. I'm just trying something. Yeah, everyone sees.
Mm.
So now what I just did was the data type was on decimal, right? And this one here was a whole number. It is not actually looking at the data type. It is looking at the information inside of the column. If the information inside of the column matches each other, it works. Do you understand that? So the only one that does not work, right, if the data type is different, is appending. Are you with me? The only one that does not work if the data type are not same is appending. Now, let's now talk about appending. Appending needs your column header. Your column header must be the same. Your column what? Header must be the same. Meaning, in your casing and either uppercase and lowercase, your casing is very sensitive when it comes to appending. Your data type also is really important. If your data type is on whole number or decimal, before you append, it must always be on the same data type, right? It must always be on the same data type when appending. And also, location does not determine on appending, meaning the location of your column, right, does not determine when appending, right? The only thing that makes appending works is your data type and your column header, and also your spelling. Now, I've mentioned three things. What are they? That makes appending work. What are they? I mentioned three things now. What are they? I mentioned three things. Can everyone hear me? Or am I speaking to myself?
Yes, sir. The column header, the data type, and the spelling.
All right, good. Your column header, your data type, and the spelling must be the same thing when appending. Right? Yeah, we just did merging. MN computers. We just did merging. I am talking about appending now. I am talking about appending, not merging. I am talking about what? Appending, not merging. Now, I want to test our knowledge, right? I'll be doing a correction tomorrow. I want to test our knowledge on the assignment I'll be giving you. All right, you'll be doing appending. Natasha Joy, are you whispering? What did you say? Right? So now, I want to test our knowledge on appending. Should I do that? Or I should just teach you appending? I want my student to prove me wrong. Should I do that or I should teach you appending? MN Computer is saying teach us. Okay. So let me get a data set for appending. Let me not use this one. Let me use something else. So we all understand appending properly. Let's see this. Okay. All right, this is going to work. So let me load in another data set for appending. I'll close this. Yo, don't disturb my class. Don't disturb my class. Don't disturb my class. All right, let me do a little bit of practical on appending before you get it as an assignment. Let me do a little bit of practical on appending. Let me do a little bit of practical on appending. Appending. So why Power BI is loading? How has today's class been? How has today's class been? Has it been good? Is there anything you haven't understand so far? Probably I come back to it before we wrap up with the class. How has today's class been? Is there anything you need to understand properly that I haven't talked about? Okay, so let's wait for that to load. So Apocalypse information. Let me just use the sales and the sales too for appending. All right, so now data set is not an issue. All right, so now everybody should check the chat section. We sent something there. Can everyone see if you've gotten the message I sent to the chat, react to the message. If you get the message I sent to the chat, react to the message I sent to the chat for me to know you've seen it. React to the message I sent to you to the chat for me, prove to me you've gotten the message. All right, so now that website you are seeing, cargo.com, you will get different data sets of your choice. You have access to different data sets of your choice. Different data sets. You can also go there to learn. You can go to cargo.com to learn. But cargo.com is like the library for data sets. Cargo.com is like a library for data sets. Now, let's go back to appending. So now let's see. We are having 34 rows inside of this, inside of Apocalypse 2, and we are having 40 rows inside of Apocalypse 2. Apocalypse Sales 1, we are having 34 rows. Apocalypse Sales 2, we are having 40 rows. Now, 34 plus 14, how many is that? 34 plus 40, how many is that? 34 plus 40, how many is that? 74. Meaning when we append, after we append, how many are we going to get? How many rows are we going to get inside of the Apocalypse Sales column? How many rows are we going to get inside the apocalypse sales column? 74, correct. So now let me try and make some adjustments for you to see when I say the spelling and the data type must be correct. Right. So let me put this one on this point. Right. The other ID. Let me change the other ID to decimal number. Right. And let me put customer at this first place. Now, can you all see it now? Can you all see the way it is arranged on the apocalypse sales? Customer is the first column. Customer ID is the second column. Other ID is the third column, but appearing in what? Decimal data type, right? And the fourth column is product ID. You can see product underscore ID. We have units sold and we have dates purchased. So now let's say apocalypse 2. Now you can see it now. You can see the alignment and all. You can see the spelling. Can you all see the spelling? So let me make adjustment to this one also and put it on lowercase. Now can you see it now? Customer is the first here. Can you all see the arrangement? Can you all see it is all scattered? Can you all see it is all scattered? Now, if I click on append queries, right? Now, I have two tables and I have 3 or more tables. So now you can use 2 tables if you're only working on 2 tables, meaning the table you are working with and the second table you want to append into the first table. But if you are doing 3 or more tables, that means the current table and 2 other tables you are appending together. So now for today's class, we are doing 2 tables. So the second table is what? Apocalypse sales 2. Now, if I click on OK, now let's see what's going to happen. Now look at customer. Customer is giving me 100%. You can see the location on this one is here. Can you see the location? The location is on the second column, but on the apocalypse sales is the first column, and it is giving me what? 100% valid, meaning I don't have any error. I don't have any empty. Can you all see it now? Can you all see it? Right now, look at the customer ID. You can see customer ID is lowercase d, and look at this one now, uppercase ID. Uppercase what? ID. Now look at this one now. Right? Can you all see it now? Look at product ID underscore, but this place there is no underscore. Now, if I scroll down, you can see null. You can see the one giving me null. Can you all see it now? You can see they are giving me null because of what? The location is not what? The same. The location what are not what? The same. So now let me just go back. Let me go back. Let me take everything to its normal self. Right? So now, this is the normal one now. Right? And this is the normal one. So apocalypse sales. Apocalypse sales, I'll click on what? Append queries. Right? So now, able to append this apocalypse sales 2. And I'll click on what? Okay. Now you can see it now. I am having 100% valid. I don't have any error. In this case, do we have to arrange the columns before? No, you don't need to arrange the columns. Since the spellings are correct, you don't need anything. Your spellings, your data type, your casing, right? And also this your spelling, your casing, and your data type. If they are all the same, location does not matter. Location does not matter. It's going to locate it for you automatically. Location does not matter at all. Location does not matter. Location does not matter. So, can you all see it now? I don't have any error. I don't have any empty. Everything are 100% valid. Everything are what? 100% valid. Is there any question? Is there any question? Is there any question? Let me locate your assignment for you. Okay. Here's the assignments. Let me just show you a preview of the assignments. Okay. So this is the preview of the assignments. Can you all see it? This is the dirty data set, and this is the clean data set. All you have to do is, from the dirty, you have to transform it to the clean. It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. You add to manually correct the spelling of it. Yeah, you are going to do it manually. If the spellings are not correct, you have to do it manually yourself. You have to do it manually yourself. So now, can you all see the preview of your assignment? Can you all see the preview of your assignment? So now, it's going to be like this. I've scattered everything for you. Okay, do you know what? You'll be getting the assignment tomorrow. Let me not rush you to do the assignment. You'll be getting the assignment tomorrow. You all will be getting the assignment tomorrow. So you do it during the week, next week, before our class. Right? So you'll be getting the assignment tomorrow instead of you getting it tonight and submitting tomorrow. You'll be getting it tomorrow. So it will be an assignment for the week. So that'll be better. So in the absence of no question, I guess we'll be rounding up tonight's class now. I guess we're going to be rounding up with tonight's class now. Nana, you can speak. Nana, you can speak, please. Nana is not saying anything. You can unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself.
Hello. Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Okay, so I think last week's class, the problem with the tables that had, the columns that had the no values, how do we resolve that?
Sorry?
Last week, I think last week's class, the Friday, we were, from the previous week, we had to clean a data set, and some of the columns had no values, and we had some problem resolving it. So we didn't get the replay to know what to do. So I want to ask, how do we resolve that?
I dropped the video in the group. Did you not get the video?
No, you dropped did you drop the YouTube link on the video itself?
It was a video. I was unable to post it on YouTube. I don't know why. Even with the personal video I did myself, I was yet unable to post it on YouTube. YouTube keeps dropping it down. I don't know why.
Please, I think we didn't get that. We didn't get the package or the document that has that video.
Resend it tonight. I'll resend it tonight, and I'll make sure I pin the video for everyone to have access to it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question from anyone before we move on?